Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. We'll start our session with a small prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, glory and the power, now and forever. Amen. Okay. Nice to see you all. Before we start with the class, I'd just like to remind you that yesterday we had done two derivations previously as well. One was electric field intensity at a point on the axis, and there was another derivation we have done at a point at the axis of the dipole. Okay, so dipole, we have studied a general method as well yesterday, a general derivation wherein we can find what the axis electric field is on the axis and what the electric field is on the dipole. Today what we'll do is basically we'll start doing potential due to a dipole. And after we are done with the potential due to a dipole, we'll start with the electric field, a small chapter within the electrostatics itself, and that is conductors. The reason I have done dipole before I could do conductors is basically so that you understand what equipotential surfaces are. Okay, equipotential surfaces are surfaces where the work done to move a charge around any equipotential surface is what? Can anyone tell me?
Potential difference should be zero.
Yeah, it would be zero. So potential energy across equipotential surface is dV by dr. Okay, rate of change of potential with respect to the movement of a charge, okay, is going to be constant. So basically V is equal to what? Is going to be zero. Rate of change of potential with respect to movement of a charge or any distance, rate of change of distance will be equal to zero. That means potential is going to be equal to constant. Okay, potential will be constant. So anywhere around the equipotential surface, we will get a constant value. Okay, does not anywhere on the equipotential surfaces, and that is what basically conductors are. Conductors are also similar to an equipotential surface. That is the reason we have done equipotential surfaces before we understand what conductors are. So before we get into conductors, today we just start with a small session on potential energy due to a dipole. And just give me a minute before we switch on to the board. Okay.
Sir, could you check the waiting room, please?
Okay, can you all hear me? Give me a quick response. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So today we'll just I'll just start with the potential energy due to a dipole. Okay, and we know that the potential energy last time on a point, okay, near the obtuse angle. What was it? I think we have done yesterday itself. Can anyone answer? Okay, there seems to be no response. Okay, give me a minute. Electric dipole. Okay, so just to remind you again, what electric dipole, what are the derivations on an end-on axis? Okay, on an end-on axis, what was E axis equal to? Electric field at the point on the axis, what was it equal to? 2 kp upon r cube. Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
On the second thing, what we had done, we had that broadside arm. So broadside, or you can call it bisector. Okay. What did we find E bisector to be?
Minus kp
Minus
upon
kp
r
upon
cube.
r cube.
kp upon r cube.
Okay, minus kp upon r cube. What was the ratio between these two? Can anyone tell me?
2:1.
2:1.
2:1. E axis upon E bisector. That was 2:1. So E axis is E bisector. Okay. E axis is 2 times E bisector. Can I say that? Can I say that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you tell me, what is the direction of the potential? What was the direction of potential? Of sorry, dipole? What is the direction?
Negative to positive.
Negative to positive. What is, okay, so P is negative to positive, I can say. Negative to positive. What is the direction of electric field on broadside on position? Direction of broadside on position, was it in the direction of the dipole itself, or was it opposite to the dipole? Can anyone tell me?
Opposite to the dipole.
Why was it opposite to the
Opposite
dipole?
to the dipole.
Why was it opposite to the dipole? What we found out? Why was it opposite to the dipole? Okay, so here see, there was a negative charge over here. I said there was a positive charge over here. I had to find out a point. Okay, electric field at this point. You tell me what is going to be the dipole. Suppose this is an equilateral triangle. I'm considering this to be a negative charge, a positive charge. Okay, so the negative charge is going to have what effect on a test charge? If I bring it here, considering that is to be a test charge, what will it do? Will it attract, repel?
Attract.
Attract. So in
Attract.
which direction? Which direction is it going to be? In this direction. Am I right? Okay.
Yes,
What
sir.
is going to be the effect of a positive charge on it? What is going to be the effect of positive charge on it? Is it going to repel, attract?
Will repel.
It's going to repel. So it is going to be in this direction. So where is going to be the net electric field intensity? Opposite x-axis? Opposite x-axis? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the electric field intensity is always going to be in the opposite direction to the dipole. These things are very important because dipole comes in the board exams and many of them skip it. Many of them skip it for unknown reasons. Okay.
So I have done these things. All these three derivations are important. End on axis, broadside on axis, E axis upon E bisector. Why is the electric field intensity opposite to the point over here? Okay, on the broadside. And of course, due to end on axis, if suppose we take end on axis, okay, or just axis, if I say there's a minus charge over here and a plus charge over here, I want to find out the electric field at this point P. Where is going to be what direction is it going to be? Is it going to be opposite the direction or towards the direction of dipole? That is also
Towards
very
the direction of dipole.
towards of direction of dipole. So never make a mistake. Here P is going to be in this direction, even electric field will be in the same direction. It won't be in the opposite direction. Why? Because positive has more force. Positive has much more energy over this point over here. It's going to repel more. And this negative charge is going to attract, but it will attract very less. Okay. So these things make the electric field intensity in the direction of the dipole movement. Okay. These were some points which I wanted to cover before we enter into conductors. Conductors is a small topic. Let's talk about potential energy of a dipole. Potential energy of dipole. Okay. So let's consider, before we understand what potential energy of a dipole is, let's do one thing. Let's take a dipole and put it in an electric field. Okay. So there is a uniform electric field like this. And let's say that electric field is E. I put a dipole right here in the middle of it, say over here like this. So yesterday we also studied torque. Everyone remembers torque? What is the formula for torque?
Force into perpendicular
Force into R
distance.
perpendicular distance.
So what we got torque to be equal to PE. What we got it? Torque was P
E
cross
sin
E.
theta.
P cross E. Yes, PE sin theta. P cross E. And what was the direction if I take electric field? If I take P here and electric field here, if I take a right hand rule, where is the
Inside.
direction of the torque? Inside the plane. Inside the plane. So PE sin theta. What is the maximum torque? Theta equal to what? At what angle will you get maximum torque?
90 degree.
90 degree.
90
Minimum
degree.
torque. Minimum torque.
0 degree.
Minimum torque 0 degree. So these terms are very important. These terms are very important. So anyways, that was just a revision and just continuation of this. If you look at it, if you look at this dipole, considering that this dipole is say minus P over here, oh sorry, minus Q over here. Let's see minus Q. And there is a plus charge over here. Okay, plus charge over here. Now you tell me, okay, according to this, what will be the result of the torque? Torque will move this dipole in which clockwise or anti-clockwise? Will it move in clockwise or anti-clockwise? Fast, immediate results.
Clockwise.
Clockwise. So, okay, clockwise. So torque has a displacement towards clockwise. Will it be positive or negative? That's it. Tell me that. Will it be positive or negative? It has to be positive. It is doing a work. If the force
Yes,
is
sir.
applying if the force applies a dipole in clockwise direction and the displacement also in clockwise direction, then your resultant, okay, your whatever you're going to get a result with, that is going to be positive. Yes or no? It's going to be positive. Okay. But say, suppose I take, okay, I force it to go backwards. What I'm using the word force. Okay. Say suppose it makes an angle theta over here. An angle theta over here. I force this dipole to come backwards. And let's say that is d theta. Let's say that is d theta. Okay. So you tell me, will the work done by the force, okay, by me, the force which I am applying, will the work done be positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay, of course,
Negative.
it is going to be negative because the torque is towards clockwise. Okay, but I am pushing it backwards. So I can write work done. Work done is going to be equal to minus the torque into displacement. Can I say torque into displacement as torque into d theta, because displacement here is going to be in terms of theta?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
that is clear. Now if I open up what torque is. What is the torque formula? Just now you all just told me what is the torque formula equal to minus, forget minus, P E what?
PE sin
PE
theta. Sin
PE
theta.
sin theta d theta. Okay, PE sin theta d theta. Okay. So now how can I write WE to be electrostatic force to be equal to, previously we had
Integration
done,
of PE sin theta d theta.
no, in terms of potential energy, in terms of potential energy,
Q
can I write
into
du?
V.
No, can I write dWe equal to du? You remember this? du is equal to what? Minus dW, okay, conservation, equal to dW external. Remember this? Remember it? We had done it in potential energy. We had done it in potential energy. We brought a point from infinity to a reference point. Everyone remembers? So I can write it as du. Okay, I can write it as du because du is equal to minus dWe. Am I right? Potential energy is equal to negative of the work done by electrostatic force. Remember? Don't remember. If there is two charges here, if I say this is Q, I bring a test charge Q right from infinity. I'm bringing it from infinity. This charge Q and this is a test charge, say Q naught. This charge Q is going to apply a force on it, repel it. It's going to repel it like this. It's going to repel it like this. It's going to be called electrostatic force. Okay. I'll say this is electrostatic force, work done by it is also electrostatic force. Of course, I'll just name it as F. If I'm putting an external force and I'm bringing it here, external force, okay, and I'm putting it in such a way that both this Fe and my external force is going to be equal. So they achieve a state of equilibrium. So I can take this point and bring it at any point because it's not experiencing a force. At any of these points, I can bring it without any repulsion. Okay, without any repulsion. So simply I can say that there is going to be some potential energy stored in it. As you bring a point, as you bring a charge close to another positive charge, it is going to store energy in the form of potential energy. That's conservation of charge, a conservation of energy. I hope you all know the concept. So what I can say is the potential energy, okay, is going to be negative of the work done by electrostatic force because it's repelling it. An external force, when I'm applying an external force, this charge is going to come here. The force is also towards it. So it is going to be equal to dW external. Is this relation clear? A short relation. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I know that du is going to be negative of the work done by electrostatic force and is going to be positive of the work done by external force. Electrostatic force is the force applied by the charge. External force is a force applied by me to bring a charge close to another charge. Remember this relation. That's all you need to know. So I can write du is equal to minus We. I know what dW is. That is work done. Okay. I know what it is. Substitute what you will get. Du is equal to what I can write. Can I write PE sin theta? Can I write PE sin theta? Negative goes,
Yes,
negative,
sir.
negative cancels. Okay, it becomes positive. Now I know what potential energy in terms of dipole and electric field intensities. I know it. Okay, I know it. Now tell me what will happen if I want to find out the potential energy, okay, I want to find out the potential energy. What do I need to do? I know what du is. Can I just simply integrate it?
Yes, sir.
I can integrate it. So now look here. This is important. Finding out the limits is very important. Okay. Potential energy at this point, the black line, and at this point, green line. Okay. I've used the two different colors so that you understand that there is some potential energy at this point in the black, some potential energy will be there. I move it towards d theta, there is going to be extra potential energy. We don't know what. Okay, we just know there is some difference of potential energy. So I will write potential energy at initial phase and potential energy at final phase. U initial, U final. Okay, and of course PE sin theta. Okay, PE sin theta. What is theta? Variable. I moved from theta to d theta. Yes or no? So I can write theta initial
Yes, sir.
to theta final. Now you all tell me fast. Quickly tell me what is going to be the integration of this. Of course, I'm going to integrate it with respect to d theta. What is it going to be? Sin theta integration?
Sir, PE cos theta final minus cos theta initial.
Yes. Someone told me the answer directly. That's great. So you're going to get, okay, if you integrate this, you're going to get u final minus u initial. So I'll write uf minus ui equal to, okay, PE, because that is constant, sin theta's integration minus cos theta, okay, and that is going to be from theta initial to theta final. Theta initial to theta final. That is in the end is going to be u final minus ui equal to PE. I can take minus outside, PE. Of course, cos theta final minus cos theta initial. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Cos theta final minus cos theta initial. Now, to bring it to a general expression, can I take a reference point? Can I take a reference point? Okay, let me just say that ui, okay, listen to me carefully, that ui, potential energy at infinity, at initial point, is going to be zero at theta equal to 90 degree. Yes or no? Why? You put cos theta 90 degree. Cos 90 is what? What is cos 90? Cos 90 is 0. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if I put cos 90 is 0, of course the theta related with it. Okay. Any term which is related with it, that is the potential energy at initial point, is going to be equal to 0. What is going to remain? Okay. Potential energy UF is going to be equal to minus PE cos theta F. So I will write that. Okay. So ultimately what? I'm going to rub this. Taking a reference point, I can just say that U is equal to minus PE cos theta. This is the general expression, minus PE cos theta. Now, how can I write minus PE cos theta? I can write it in terms of dot product. Potential energy. I can write it in terms of dot product. So I can write U is equal to what I can write, minus P dot E.
Yes, sir.
Minus P dot E. So this is your final expression. This is your final expression for potential energy of a dipole. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, no doubt. Okay, great, thanks. Now since we know these two cases, let's just expand these cases. Okay, let me just tell you what is going to be the potential energy at cos, which is between 0 to 90. What are you going to get? 0 to 90. What is going to be the character of potential energy? Will it be positive or negative? Think and tell me.
Negative.
Negative. So I will say it is negative. And if I say it was from 90 to 180, of course degree
Positive.
U is going to positive. So remember this. This is important. 0 to 90 you will have a negative potential energy. 90 to 180 you will have a positive potential energy. Okay. Never mistake it to be positive from 0 to 90. You substitute theta equal to 0 to 90 here. Of course, you're going to get a positive value, but there's already a negative sign here. So potential energy will be negative. 90 to 180 positive. So I can just write here. Let's say, okay, so at this point, it's going to be negative potential energy. And at this point, I can say it is positive potential energy. Can I say that? Okay. So this is what potential energy of a dipole simply means. Okay. Now, just a small reminder. There can be small questions like this, that if a charge is here, a dipole is here, and they ask you what is going to be the direction of electric field at these 2 points. We already discussed it, but just again I'm just telling you. Of course, because of the dipole at the bisector axis, your electric field will be in this direction, and the electric field at this point will be towards the dipole moment. Dipole moment is always considered to be from negative to positive P. Never take it from positive to negative. These are some statements that I wanted to make. Let's get into conductors. A new topic. Let's get into conductors. So now you know what equipotential surfaces are. It will be very easy for you to understand conductors. Okay. Now see, there are many types of conductors. Tell me any conductor you all know. Any conductor you all know. What are the types of conductors? Any conductor? Say copper wire is a conductor. Is it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There are many other conductors. Okay. There are many other conductors. Metals are there. Basically, any object which has free electrons in it. Free electrons. Okay. To move is called a conductor. Okay. Conduction has its own value. Conduction can be measured. Okay. That is another topic. When we come to current, electricity, we'll find out. Also, I want to let you know that there are objects. There are some objects which are man-made. And these man-made objects can be manipulated. They can be manipulated. Okay. What I can do is I can reduce the amount of conduction in an object. I can increase the amount of conduction in an object just by mixing two components. Okay. Maybe a silicon atom, maybe a germanium atom. So these are concepts of semiconductors. Okay. That is your last chapter, I think. We'll come to that. Okay. Right now, all you need to know is what conductors are. So basically, conductors are just something that have free electrons within them. They have free electrons within them, and they can move. They can move. Another fact which I want to tell you is, suppose a conductor is placed, is placed without an electric field. There is no electric field. Then, okay, this is the amount 10 raised to 5 meter per second is the amount of is the speed at which electrons travel. Okay, without an electric field, they travel at this amount, 10 raised to 5 meters per second. These are some facts. Let's come to the point. If suppose I say there is an electric field here, and I place a conductor, any object, maybe a wire, maybe any conducting object. Say suppose I choose a box like this. What is going to be the effect of this electric field intensity on this? What is it going to be? Can anyone answer? Okay, see, conductors are basically simply, okay, you can look at it in this way, that they are basically having positive ions all over them in this way, and these are non-movable. These are basically non-movable. They cannot move. But of course, positive ions also have electrons out. So I will say there are electrons here. Okay. What we can say is that electric field intensity, electric field lines are basically generated because of positive charges at one end and negative charges on one end. So what is going to be the effect on these green dots right here? Considering that the green dots are electrons, aren't they going to get attracted towards the positive charges this way? Am I right? No response. Any response? No response. Someone say, at least say something so that I know that you all are hearing. Okay. So there are basically in a conductor there are many electrons, and these electrons are attracted in the opposite. They go towards a direction which is opposite to the electric field intensity. They go towards a direction which is opposite to the electric field intensity. So ultimately what happens, all the electrons, if they come towards the left side, if all electrons come towards the left side, what is going to happen? Okay, we are going to develop a negative charge on the left side of the conductor. Say suppose this is what is going to happen. There are negative charges developed on the edges of this conductor right here. And of course, if electrons are on this conductor come towards the initiating point of the electric field, then on the opposite direction there are going to be plus charges. Why? You can apply conservation of charge, or you can simply state the fact that if electrons come towards this side, okay, positive charges due to this external electric field is going to repel the positive charges in the conductor, pushing them towards the other side. That's all. So this is basically the behavior of a conductor. This is the behavior of a conductor. So let me redraw that again. So I am saying that electric field is basically developed due to a positive charge on one side and negative charge on the other side. This causes an electric field. By the way, this is the same type of electric field lines which are developed within a capacitor. So pay attention. It will help you in capacitors also. I take a conductor. A conductor has many electrons in it, and of course, all the electrons in it are going to be attracted to the positive charges caused by this external electric field. So I can say that all negative charges or electrons come this side. And of course, the positive charges are going to repel the positive charges within the conductor. So it's going to come this side. These are all positive charges. So ultimately, okay, there is going to be an electric field. Okay, there is going to be an electric field. Okay, due to this induced charges, a concept called induction comes here. What is induction? Induction is basically causing redistribution of charges in any object due to an external force without touching it. We learned it in methods of charging. In methods of charging, what we learned? We brought, okay, a charged object in front of a non-charged object, okay, like a paper or something. It gets attracted. Reason is because there is some redistribution of charge in such a way. And we can say that at any point in this in this conductor, the electric field, I'm talking only about this conductor, due to the redistribution of charges, will have an electric field in what direction? Will have a what direction? Can anyone tell me? What is going to be the electric field at a point inside the conductor?
So it will be 0.
Yeah,
Negative,
0.
opposite.
It is going. That is, see, 0 is right. 0 is right, but that is the net. That is the net electric field in a conductor. Okay, for it to be 0, there has to be something which is opposing it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
There has to be something which is opposing the electric field, and so the conductor will develop an electric field exactly in the opposite direction and to the same magnitude of this, just opposite to the direction. In that way, I can say that E net is basically E net, okay, or electric net intensity is going to be E external plus E induced, where electric field induced means the electric field in the conductor and electric field due to the external, that is E external. And of course, I know that E external at some point, okay, after entire charges are redistributed, E external will be equal to E induced. If I say E external is going to be equal to E induced, sorry, it is in opposite direction. Okay, E external minus E induced. So if E external is going to be equal to E induced, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? 0. Yes or no? So by this we can say that the net electric field, by this we can simply say the net electric field within the conductor is what? E will be what inside a conductor? 0. Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, see, listen to me. Of course, electric field inside the
Yes,
conductor
sir.
is 0. Electric field inside a conductor is 0. But that is only once the charges are redistributed. Okay, while redistribution, it is not so. While that is why we are studying electrostatics now. That's why it's called electrostatics. You're going to study at a static position. Okay, what I'm saying is there are positive charges, there are negative charges, and of course, what is going to happen is while they are being redistributed, okay, their redistribution is basically because of the electric field at a point inside the conductor which is in the opposite direction. It is in the opposite direction. Once the charges are redistributed, there is no electric field inside. It becomes 0. Because what happens? We simply know the fact. Again, I'll tell you that E net, the net electric field intensity is basically equal to E external minus E due to the conductor. So E inside the conductor, I will write EC. Okay. So I can say after the steady state has been approached, a time interval at which positive charges come at one end and negative charges come at one end, and there is no more charge to be redistributed. At that point, what is going to happen is the conductor is going to redistribute the charge in such a way that the external electric field will be equal to the electric field in the opposite direction, and as well as equal to the both are going to be equal. That is, E external is going to be equal to E opposite inside the conductor, and that is going to become equal to 0. So your net electric field intensity, okay, within the conductor becomes equal to 0. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Sir.
So the first thing we learned in conductors, okay, first thing we learned is the electric field E inside a conductor. Inside a conductor is what? Equal to 0. Yes or no? Okay, this is a small thing. Now comes the concept of equipotential surfaces. What is equipotential surface? Let's see. If E inside a conductor is 0, we know that E is equal to what? Minus dV by dr. Okay, minus dV by dr. But E is 0. So I will say 0. So dV by dr is what? 0. So rate of change of potential within a conductor also is what? 0. That means voltage will be equal to what? Constant. Am I right? Am I right? So inside
Yes,
a
sir.
conductor, at any point inside the conductor, at any point, let it be a sphere, let it be anything, basically the entire object is a equipotential surface. What do you mean by equipotential surface? Simply means that the rate of change of voltage with respect to a distance, any inside, you take a charge, you move it from anywhere to anywhere, the rate of change of potential is going to be 0, and so voltage is going to be constant. So what we learned, the second thing is basically a conductor is a equipotential surface. Okay, conductor is what? Equipotential surface.